Okay, so yesterday we were trying. Good morning. We're on Daf Kuf Lamed Amud Bet 130b. We're about 10 lines in. Yeah, 10 lines in, and yesterday the Gemara brought a story that they were carrying. They didn't have the knife brought before Shabbat. Then they brought it on Shabbat through the rooftops, derech gagot v'derech chatzirot. Shelo b'tzon Rabbi Eliezer. So the Gemara came out yesterday, and what that means is not only shelo b'tzon Rabbi Eliezer, because Rabbi Eliezer holds that on Shabbat you're allowed to do whatever you want for the milah. No, it was more than that. It was what? It was that they did it shelo b'tzon Rabbi Eliezer u'machlukto, and those who argue with Rabbi Eliezer, because according to the Chachamim, that hold that you're not allowed to even bring it through the gagot and the chatzirot, and the milah should be done on Sunday. So who are they doing it like? Like not like him. That means like somebody, with meaning to the consent of who? Who's happy about it? Ele b'tzon Rabbi Shimon. Rather like Rabbi Shimon, because it's really a three-way machloket in halachot of carrying, and we pass on like Rabbi Shimon. So they were going like Rabbi Shimon, who allows one to carry from a rooftop to a rooftop without an eruv. Rooftop to rooftops did not have to make an eruv to be ma'arev, to make them all one under one central location in order to carry. The Tanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Rabbi Shimon omer echad gagot ve'echad kapifot.
No matter the distance between them, or
well, how are you going to carry from one to the other? If you do, they have to be one next to the other.
So I can't put like a 2x4 and cross it with it.
Yeah, you could. Oh, because then you're going into the chutzner. You could, because you could go into the chutzner too. So even if that airspace is considered chutzner, board anyways would make it. Yeah, you could. Right. Rabbi Shimon omer echad gagot ve'echad kapifot ve'echad chatzirot. Whether you're talking about gagot, kapifot are large areas that surrounded not for usages, not for like a chatzer, which is made for using. The kapif was just an open, not open, but it was just a piece of field. Yeah. Ve'echad chatzirot, or chatzirot in front of the houses. Fine. Kulan reshut echad hen, they're all one reshut, and you're allowed to carry from one to the other. Lekelim sheshavtu b'tilchan, to kelim who started off at the beginning of Shabbat there. So v'lo lekelim sheshavtu b'tilchan bayit, and now for the kelim that were inside the house, because those that were brought out to the Chatzar after Shabbat started, you're not allowed to carry them from Chatzar to Chatzar. Whether you brought them to the first Chatzar in a prohibited fashion, or even if you used a Ruve Chatzerot and they carried them out perfectly fine, you can't carry them to a Gag or to another Chatzar. Fine. So therefore, here what happened was they carried Migag Legag to bring the knife according to Rabbi Shimon, which everything is fine. Okay. Now, Rabbi Shimon is the shita that we pass on like, but there's the Chacham and Rabbi Meir, and the Chacham and Rabbi Meir have a different view over here. If we have to go to the Chacham and Rabbi Meir, we'll talk about them. Right now, I'll just leave them out. But that's shitas Rabbi Shimon, and that's what they did. Okay, so you have a mavui, and a mavui is an alleyway where all of the homes that surround it, which have courtyards in front of them, those courtyards open up to this alleyway, This alleyway on its fourth side, its fourth end, is open up to Reshut Rabim. So we know that everybody knows this first Mishnah in Erevin that you put that lechi or korah at the fourth side. So therefore, you're allowed to carry from the in the mavui, and we're not worried they're going to carry into the Reshut Rabim. So the question is, does that work? Even right, even if there was no shituf voice. Shituf voice is that they were mishatef all the chatzerot, all the different courtyards that open up. They made them all as one. With right, how do they do that? They put the bread of all the chatzerot in one chatzer. So that makes all the chatzerot as one chatzer. So the mavui, the problem is why are you not allowed to carry from the chatzer into the mavui? Because it's doimer to the Reshut Rabim. So how are they going to? Hello. Now why is it doimer to the Reshut Rabim? Because all the chatzeros, all the different chatzeros hang out there. But what about if the mavui belongs to only one chatzer? One little court, one little alleyway for one chatzer, then it's okay. Then it's not considered like a Reshut Rabim. It's not similar to Reshut Rabim, and that was the function of this shituf muvaot. That's what we really were doing. We're saying we're all one chatzer. Okay, so now, so everything's like one reshut. That's called shituf muvaot. Okay.
Like the whole way in an apartment building?
No, no, because this mavi has to be open up to Reshut Rabim. It's like this street, okay? So very nice. So okay, so now we made all the chatzerot shituf muvaot, and you're allowed to carry from the chatzerot into the mavi. But the question is, now in the mavi itself, okay, you can't do that. You still can't carry into the mavi until you do another fixing. What is that? The lechi and the kar on the fourth side. Because if you do, even though you did shituf muvaot and you carry in, but now if you in the mavi you're going to walk out to the Reshut Rabim. So they had to make a little sign, a hecker, or another pshat that's like enclosure by the fourth side. That way it was totally closed off. Now the question is, what happens if you only do it half of this? Meaning, you did the lechi and the korah, okay, but you didn't do the shituf. So now you really enclosed the mavui. Now that's for sure that you're not allowed to take from the batim and the chatzerot into the mavui, because we said the only way you could carry from the houses and the chatzerot into the mavui is if you make shituf and voice. That was clear. So you're not allowed to do that. The question is, if you have something that was in the mavui at the onset of Shabbat, and now the mavui itself is enclosed because I put that fourth side, so could I walk around in the mavui, just in this mavui, with the item that was left there before Shabbat? Or not, because the Chachamim gave it a halacha like a Reshut Rabim? That's the Gemara's question. Do we say it's like a chatzer? Ma chatzer afagav delo ervu muter l'tal b'kulo. A chatzer, if things were left in a chatzer at the onset by the beginning of Shabbat, you could carry them throughout the chatzer, even though you didn't make anything, no fixings. In that chatzer, you can move it. Hainami afagav delo nishtatvu muter l'tal b'kulo. Oduma lo dami l'chatzer. The chatzer itle'ar b'mechitzot. Haylet le'ar b'mechitzot. The chatzer is more doma to Reshut Yachid. Okay? So therefore, the mavui that's open with one Reshut, even though you put the lechi and the korah there, and you kind of made a hecker, or you consider it a closure, but still, this still doesn't look as Reshut Yachid as a chatzer. Inami, Or another way that you can differentiate between the two is chatzer itle duyurin, hailet beduyurin. So since the people use the chatzerot since it's people that live there and they use it as an area, living space, thank you for the words, therefore they looked at it more like Rishut Yachid. But hailet beduyurin. But this mavui, people don't live there and do their whatever, right? So therefore, it's more doma to Rishut Rabim. Therefore, you're not allowed to carry. That's what the Gemara is trying to say. Maybe, perhaps, from one spot to another until you do shituf muvaot. Shituf muvaot. I mean, it's not the same thing. One is allowing you to carry from the chotzer to the chotzer, and the other one's carrying, or chotzer to the mavui, and the other one's allowing to carry you from the batin to the chatzeris, or the batin to the batin. Okay, but it's the same. Yeah, it's the same type of thing, just from where to where. Shatik v'lo amalei v'lo midi. So Rav Asi didn't have an answer for him. Again, the question is, if you have an item that was left in. This might sound very foreign to you, all these halachot and all these questions, and that's normal. It's really a sugya of Erevin. When we learn Erevin, we're going to become more proficient in this. B'ezrat Hashem. Erevin is, it's coming. It's very geschmack. It won't be foreign then. You're going to be living it like you'll know it like you say Modani. Become very, you know the sugyot every day. So, okay. One time, Rabbi Zera found Rav Asi that didn't know the answer, sitting and saying, Amar Rabbi Shimon Lakish Mishur Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. He said over in the name of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, some say it's Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya, which was his grandson, Shabbat. Again, they forgot to bring the knife before Shabbat. Vehevi'u b'Shabbat. The Chachamim were upset. They had difficulty with this. They said, "Ha'ech manichin divrei Chachamim yosin keRabbi Eliezer." What do you mean you carried on Shabbat? What does that mean? Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Eliezer, of course you go like Rabbi Akiva, right? In our Mishnah, Rabbi Akiva holds that you're not allowed to do such a malacha for milah. Only something that was not able to be done yesterday, which is the actual cut, the actual milah. But anything else you can't do. So we understand Rabbi Eliezer holds like that, but we don't rule like Rabbi Eliezer. So therefore,
Chachamim agree with Rabbi Akiva.
The Chachamim in those times, yes, they were already going the Shita Rabbi Akiva. Yeah. First of all, Rabbi Eliezer Shamutihu. First of all, you don't go like Rabbi Eliezer because he's from Beit Shammai. Okay. We don't pass like him because of that story in Bava Metzia that they put him into excommunication because he argued with the rabbis about the Tanur Achnai, it was called. Therefore, we don't go like him. That's pshat number one. The second pshat is that Shamuti, like I told you, actually he's a Talmud of Shammai. And we don't go like Beit Shammai. Second of all, Yachid v'Rabim alacha Karabim. Most shitot didn't go like Rabbi Eliezer. They went like Rabbi Akiva. So you have Yachid v'Rabim alacha Karabim. So what's going on? Why did they carry it? The Omer Rabbi Oshia she'elit et Rabbi Yehuda goes there. I asked Rabbi Yehuda the cutter, which means the mohel, right? Goes there is a mohel, same thing. The Amar Ali, meaning I asked him, what happened over here? What's the story? It's a terrible story. What was the exact story? Tell me the story. It's not that they carried it from the chatzerot into the mavui, and they just said, Shabbat, go away, because we were like Rabbi Eliezer. No, the knife at the onset of Shabbat was already in the mavui. Okay? There was no shituf voice. The mavui did belong to a lot of separate chatzerot because they never really made them one central location. They didn't all become one. However, there was a lechi and a korah, it was an enclosed mavui. So that's our shaila. And they brought the knife from one side to the other. And where was the brit? In the mavui on the other side. But I guess because I don't know why they couldn't. Whatever it was, the baby was on one side, so they had to carry it all the way to the other side. That's what they did. So therefore they went like the Chachamim. They weren't doing any isur of carrying at all. This is not a Rebbe Eliezer story of our Mishnah that you break Shabbat. They didn't break Shabbat. They carried inside a mavui that had a lechi and a korah. What?
So we see it's mutar.
So Amalei Svirle the Mar Mavui Shaloi Nishtat v'mutar l'talta b'kulei. So Reb Zera said to Rabasi, 1 second. You're telling me this story. Rabasi is telling him over this story that Rabbi Oishia asked Rabbi Yehuda Gozer, and he told him this as if this is a good answer. So that means that you hold, that you're allowed to carry. Remember, I asked you, Ravasi. Rabbi said, I asked you, Ravasi. You didn't know, you're quiet. But here, from this story, it comes out, if you like this story, that you're allowed to carry in a mavui.
So according to Rabbi Akiva, you're not allowed to do even a derabanan for Shabbat.
Exactly, that's what we said yesterday. Even a derabanan, you have to push it off to Sunday. You cannot break Shabbat. These isur derabanans of carrying, for sure. Happens to be that my son's Brit, there was maybe some, no, we weren't over on anything. I have to make that clear. We did it in a permissible fashion. My son's Brit, my oldest son, was a Bechor. I never made a Brit before, I never made anything. And the moyel had already, so he came, it was freezing cold and it was in Lakewood, no Eruv. So he had to do it in the basement. I lived in a basement. And everybody packs in. That's the way it's done in Lakewood. So, so he comes in. He's like, okay, fine, give me my case, please. I said, what case? You know, the case I brought before Shabbat. Like, you didn't come here before Shabbat. You came here to check the baby. You never left the case there. He turned white. The guy's like a very exact type of guy. He already did, he was an older man. He already did, at that point, he told me, 10,000 Britin in his life, which averages that at least 1,000 probably were on Shabbat. And he said it never happened to him. It was the first time. Everybody was just waiting. But he had done a Brit somewhere far away in Lakewood. 45-minute walking. He just walked from another one. And they were like, what's going to happen over here?
There's no Eruv?
No, in Lakewood there's no Eruv. So, anyways, there was a guy there that for the catering, for the Suda, and that they sent the guy, they did it all day to Amiras, this, that, Akum, Tzarech Mitzvah. Anyway, it was mutter. We didn't do it with the Isur D'Rabanan. We did it in a mutar way, but everybody had to wait 40 minutes. The guy was like, he was so bad. Yeah. So that was the story. No, but according to Rabbi Akiva, you're not allowed to be over even on Isur D'Rabanan to be able to do Milah on Shabbat. You have to push it off to Sunday. If the only way you can do it is to being over. The only thing you're allowed to break Shabbat is the actual Milah. Because that couldn't be done before Shabbat. Or anything else that couldn't have been done before Shabbat. If you could find it. Okay, so you told him, look, you hold that you're allowed to do such a thing. So, you're right, I do hold. I want to ask you this question, and you didn't answer me this way. Meaning, you didn't tell me this whole story to answer, you just kept quiet, as if you didn't have an answer. Maybe because of your flow that you were saying over the story, suddenly like the light bulb went out, you realized that you do have an opinion about this, because that story is a good story, you hold that answer. So he says, yeah, you're right. You're right. Through the running through my Talmud, the flow, this came back to me. And, okay. Itmar, Omer Rab Zera, Omer Rav, Mavui Shalei Nishtatfu Bo, Ein Metatlen Bo, Ela Ba'arba Amot. A Mavui, that didn't make a shituf, you cannot. He's dissenting opinion. He does not hold of this. Okay, he says they considered it like more like a Reshut Rabim, and you're not allowed to carry it. Amar Abai Hamilta Amri Rab Zera V'lei Pirsha, Ad Ata Rabba Baravu Pirsha. Meaning, when Rab Zera said it, he didn't explain himself in the name of Rav. He just said you can't do it. Until Rabbi Baravua came and explained it much better. And what did he say? He explained it and he qualified it. The Amar Rav Nachman Amar Rabbi Baravua Amar Rav Mavui shelo nishtatfu Evu chatzerot im batim emetatlim bo ela be'arba amot. Lo evu chatzerot im batim mutal tatel bekulo. If they made an eruv and they made an eruv chatzerot, meaning eruv chatzerot is there, it's done in order to make all the houses one, so you can carry from the house into the chatzer. Okay, because then the chatzer that everybody shares is not a chatzer of the rabbim. This is the way it functions. What it does is that really is only one home. There's only a private lot over here. There's one home, one chatzer. It's not. We don't look at it. We don't view it. The Rabbanan used to view it. They got scared. People view it like a Reshut Rabim. Everybody's here. Everybody's doing their thing in the chatzer. So it's a public chatzer for many different households. So now we say, no, it's not. It's a private chatzer for one household. Because everybody lives in that specific one house. Because we brought bread there. And we say, this is our central location. All the other houses are just like additions. And they're part of that same house. And therefore, now, what does that do? At the end of the day, there's still 5,500 people in the chatzer on Shabbat afternoon. So why don't we look at it as Reshut Rabim? Because we remember that we went through this whole process of Shabbat bringing the bread. So that reminds us, and we try to understand what that is, it reminds us, this chatzer is a private chatzer. It belongs to one home. Don't ever mix it up with that Reshut Rabim. Just by doing this whole act, that makes people aware that it's different. Okay? So he says like this. If you do such an eruv with the chatzers and the batim, then ein metalten bo. You hear this? Hear this? This becomes worse now. It becomes worse now. Now you cannot carry in a mavui. Now the mavui comes after the chatzerot. So now, if you fixed up the houses with the chatzer, and you're allowed to go carry from the houses into the chatzer and chatzer back into the houses, back and forth, then you'll have an issue with carrying with something that never made it to the houses of the chatzer, was in the mavui, in the alleyway from the beginning of Shabbat. That is when Rav, I'll explain in a minute. That's when Rav said you can't do it. But you have to qualify, Rav. You didn't say that all the time. Ella, but lo evchutzeret in batim mutar tatel bekuloi. But if you didn't make, and you're not allowed to carry from the houses to the chatzer, what do you care about the houses to the chatzer? What does that have to do with us? We're in the mavui over here. The question is, we're in the mavui. We want to know if you're allowed to carry there. So he says it makes a big difference.
In the chatzer, you might bring it into the mavui. If you're not carrying in the chatzer, you won't bring it into the mavui.
But you have that problem anyways, because you have things in the chatzer that were rested in the chatzer, even without the eruv chatzers, with the eruv chatzers. So that's not the nekuda. Listen, the Gemara is going to get to the nekuda exactly. Omar le'Rav Chanina chuzo de Rabbo. Okay, so we said a very interesting statement now. We qualified Rav, but it's not 100% yet explained. Okay. So Rabbi Chanina chuzo said to Rabbi, "Ma'ishna, what's the difference? Ki eruv chatzeret in batim. When you make an eruv, the reason he's saying I can understand why you said it's a problem if you made an eruv, but for the same reason it will be without the eruv. Meaning, what's the whole reason? He says the nitku chatzerot v'nasu batim through the eruv, so the chatzer is not considered a chatzer anymore. It becomes like part of the batim. So it's as if there's no chatzer there at all. So Rav that said you're not allowed to carry this mavui, l'tamei, the Amar Rav eina mavui nitar b'lech v'kora. Because Rav has another rule. The mavui itself, okay, the mavui itself cannot be carried inside it, even with a lechi and kaira. Only a mavui that has at least 2 chatzirot, and each one of those chatzirot has at least 2 houses, okay? You have 2 courtyards, and each one of those courtyards belong to 2 houses. That's considered a mavui that you can carry it if you have a lechi and a korah on the open side. And what's the pshat? But anything less than that, meaning if what's opened up to that mavui is not 2 chatzerot and 2 houses to each chatzer, then we consider the mavui like a chatzer, like a total, not a mavui. It doesn't get the halach of mavui. It gets the halach of a chatzer. And the halach of a chatzer, of a courtyard that's opened up into Reshut Rabim, you could put a lechi and a korah there. It's not going to help you. Okay, it's not enough to put a lechi and a korah, and the reason for that is because if you want to create like a private living space, then the way you do that is by putting up more partitions. Okay. Now a mavui, you know why a mavui it suffices to use a lechi and a korah for a mavui, is because since the mavui serves many chatzirot and many people don't like using it for private things. It's like a street. The chatzirot, however, in front of the houses, people like to use them for some sort of privacy. They eat there, they drink there, and therefore, Rav says if the mavui is serving only one chatzer, or there's only one house to each chatzer, so they're going to use the mavui like a chatzer, and it's going to turn into a chatzer. It's going to be a private area. That street, you ever see these people that live in these like fancy neighborhoods? It's like one house, and the street is official government street. But anechte getog, like we say in Yiddish. The guy puts up his basketball court there, and like the cul-de-sacs, and they make a party over there, and they bring out the tables. What are you doing? You're going to get hit by a car? What car? We see a car here every 2 years. So the point is that the mavui is now deemed as a chatzeh. So he says, so what are you telling me? That Rav said, when you make, so he says like this. So Rav holds that ena mavui nita b'lecha v'kari at you batim v'chateres p'suchel l'seichel. V'hacha batim ike chateres leka. So now what happens? So now I can understand why if you make an eruv chatzeres, what happens now when you make eruv chatzeres?
Sounds like a house.
So nothing to do with the mavui. I made eruv chatzerot to the right, which is all the houses are one. So it's like there's one house and one chatzer. So you don't have enough houses and chatzerot open into the mavui because it's rendered in halacha. I know you're thinking there's still 100 people there. I know, but it doesn't matter because that's what he needed. He needed to be in halachically to have 2 chatzerot and 2 houses. And you don't have that. So that's why the mavui won't become mutar with a lechi and korah because we're going to view it like a chatzer. So he says, okay, that's your reason when you make an eruv. But kilo eruv nami, even if you don't make an eruv and you consider it what? That you have many chatzirot and many houses opened up. So this is the public domain where people don't do private things. So we don't view it like a chatzer, and therefore the lechi and the korah should help it. So he says, "Kilo ervunami lechzilu lahani batim keman destimi damo, v'chatzeros ika ubatim leka." He says, still, let us consider the houses as if they're not open up to the mavui. Why? Why not? Because since you didn't make shituf mavois, so now you're not allowed to carry. Since you didn't make eruv v'chatzeris, you're not allowed to carry from the houses into the chatzer. So since you're not allowed to carry from the houses into the chatzer, so now the chatzeros are really. What's the whole point that you have chatzerot and houses opened up into the mavui? Because then you can come from the houses and the chatzerot and use the mavui as well, right? And therefore it's going to be a very public area. And that's why if you have that many houses and that many chatzerot open to the mavui, therefore it's a public place, and the lechi and the koira will help it. We won't view it as a chatzer. But here, you don't have houses and the chatzeris opened up. He says, you know why? But I do. So he says, yeah, but when you, but since I can't get from the houses to the mavui, right? Because I didn't make an eruv. So I don't really have those houses open to the mavui. So if I don't have those houses open to the mavui, we should still view the mavui as a chatzer, as a private area, which the lechi and the kodesh should not help. Okay? And just to say the question over in a nutshell, it's like this. When you make an eruv, you had a big problem. Why? Because now that you made an eruv, all you have is houses opened up. Because we don't view the chatzar like a chatzar. Chatzar is like part of the house. And why is the chatzar part of the house? Because there's only one house here. There's only one house. The chatzar is like the courtyard of the house. If you have many houses, then the chatzar is considered a separate entity. It's like the place for everybody. If you make an eruv and it's only one house, then the chatzar is just part of the house. So if it's only part of the house, all you have is, you don't have a chatzar, you only have a house open to the mavui. If you only have a house open to the mavui, that's not enough things open to the mavui to be for Rav to allow the lechi and the koyer to work, because we consider the mavui still a very private area. So he says, even if you don't make an eruv and you consider the chatzar a real chatzar, but you still don't have enough things open to the mavui, because since you didn't make an eruv, so the houses, halachically, you cannot carry from the houses to the mavui. How are you going to get out? You're not going to be able to take anything into the chatzar. So we should still view the mavui as a very private area, and therefore it should not, the lechi and the koyer should not help them. I know it's difficult. That's normal. Says the Gemara, Efsher de mevatel reshus dekul gab echad. Maybe, says the Gemara. By the way, tonight we're making a shir here, because now we're going to be 2 left behind. At least I thought tonight we'll catch up. At least tonight we'll catch up to what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks, and then next week, Sunday or something, we'll catch up. So we're going to have a shir here. If you can make it. Please make it if you can. It's a big zchut at 9 o'clock tonight. It's too late. We'll try to do it quick. It's not going to be such a hard shir because it's back to Mila, back to this and that. Just this slowed us down a little bit. Slicha. 9 o'clock tonight. Whoever could make it, please make it tonight. Okay. Says the Gemara like this. You know what you could do? You know why a chatzeh that didn't have an eruv, everything could work out? Because you're able all the balabatim, the people that own houses there, can be mevatel their rishus. They can just nullify on Shabbat their rishus, and they could say, the portion that we own in the chutzner, we're giving up. But we don't have a right to the chutzner. The chutzner belongs, let's say it's all four of us, the chutzner belongs to HaKohen, the Or. So therefore, the chutzner now is serving one home. It's not serving my home, David's home, Amnon's home. It's just not. It's serving Lior's home. Lior, you mind if we hang out in your chutzner? Yeah, no problem. But basically, we're giving up our right to the chutzner this Shabbat, to Lior. So now this chutzner is serving one home only. Therefore, Lior's home could carry out to the chutzner. So the chutzner now doesn't become a problem for the home. It's not being mafsik. You could get to the chutzner from his home. And therefore you're left with a bayit and a chutzner. And the chutzner is not stopping the bayit to go through. Even without an eruv, it's technically possible to get one to carry from the home to the chutzner. And therefore we view this mavui that comes after the bayit and the chutzner as a mavui that is opened up to a bayit and a chutzner, which is enough for Rav to allow the lechi and the koyer to work in the mavui. I know you're thinking, what is going on over here? I know, but this is the way it works. It says the Gemara, soif, bayis ikar batim leka. Very nice, we only have a house. Every chutzner here has one home, because we're being vatal the whole chutzner to one man's home in every chutzner that's going to the mavli. But each one needs two homes. Rav said, remember Rav's lashon? Ein hamavi nitim lech achayu batim, lashon plural. B'chatzer is tuchim l'tochim. V'hacha batim ik. So the Gemara says, so here's batim leka. So the Gemara says, Efshad the mitzafer ve'ad paga the yoyim l'gabe chad, u'mipaga the yoyim l'fanya l'gabe chad. Maybe what they could do is like this. Half of the day, everybody is mevatel to the Or. The other half of the day, everybody is mevatel the chatzir to David. So now, at the end of the day, you have two houses that were opened up throughout the Shabbat. So the Gemara says it doesn't work. At the time that the house belongs to everybody, the chatzir belongs to the Or, there's only one house. Later on in the afternoon, it's only one house is David's. You never have simultaneously two homes. So the Gemara therefore retracts over here. And the Gemara says, because of this kasha, that all we need in order for a mavui to be considered a mavui is a mavui that is opened up to two chatzirot and two batim. No difference whether you made an eruv or you didn't make an eruv. That's not the point. So why did Rav make a point about it? So meaning it's always considered two houses, two chatzirot, whether you made the eruv or not. So then why did Rav differentiate if whether you made an eruv? And Rav said that if you made an eruv and you didn't make shituf muvaot, you're not allowed to carry in the mavui. The reason is a whole different reason. It says the Gemara, Ela Omer Avashi, because Rav holds like Rabbi Shimon. And we said that Rabbi Shimon allows you to carry from roof to roof, and from roof to courtyard, and from courtyard to mavui. They're all one area for the kelim that rested in one of those three areas on the onset of Shabbat. They're all like one rishut. So just like you're allowed to carry in that one gag, from the beginning of the gag to the end of the gag, you also can go from gag legag, from gag lechotz, lechotz, lemavui. It's all one thing. Okay? The only thing that Shimon agrees with is from batim to chotzer you can't do. Okay? But there's a new thing. And you might have heard this before. We didn't mention it. Rav Shimon also agrees that the Chacham came and they made an Istur, they were gozer, to carry from one chater to another chater. Even if in this chater they made Eruv, right, to another chater. Or a mavui that they did not make shita from voice. You're not allowed to carry from a chater that has an eruv in it with the houses to a mavui that they didn't make a shita from voice. Why? Because if they allow that, then people are also going to carry from the houses into the chater. Okay? So therefore, Reb Shimon agrees that you're going to bring, since you're going to bring out kalim from your house to your chater, therefore you're not allowed to carry from a chater into a mava either. So mi garam lachatzeres she'asru. So what required the people of the mava to make shituf voice? So why do they have to make shituf voice over here? The only way that you could carry from the chater into the mavui is going to be if you made shituf voice. Why? Because otherwise we're worried that you're going to carry from the houses. Batin. So the reason why you have to make shituf voice is because of the houses. The leka. But if the houses didn't make an erev with the chatzeros, so therefore you're allowed to carry in the mavui itself, because it's considered like there's no houses that are going to aster so the way Rashi says like this, that the reason why the Chacham made this Isser to carry from the Chatzeris to the Mavui, kalim that were already in the Chatzer, is because of Gzeirah. Because if you do that, you're also going to bring out the kalim that were in the houses, right? But if the people in the Chatzer didn't make an Eruv, so it's also for them to carry from the bias into the Chatzer. Very good. So, Moirlik. Yeah, that's very careful. You're not allowed to carry from the houses to the Mavli. Okay? From the houses to the Chotzer, maybe yes. If you make it, if you make a Erev. But from the houses to the Mavli, you can't. So therefore they said, the Chacham went ahead. This is according to Reb Shimon, according to Rav. They said you shouldn't carry from the Chatzah to the Mavli either. Why? Because if you do that, then you're going to end up carrying things from the houses into the Mavli. And that's really awesome. Now, that's only going to happen if there's an Eruv. Because if there's an Eruv, then things that are in the home will end up in the Chatzah. And then you'll say, if I'm allowed to carry from the Chatzah to the Mavli, I could just carry anything in the Chatzah to the Mavli. But hey, this tissue box is in the Chatzah only because it was in the house at the beginning of Shabbat. And that can't make it into the Mavli. But you're not going to realize that. But once they didn't make an Eruv, so the items of the homes are not going to be in the Chatzah. They're not going to be in the Chatzah because there's no way to get them into the Chatzah. You didn't make an Eruv. So then they didn't have an issue with you to make a gzeira on the kalim in the chatzir and in the mavli. And now the chatzeris and the mavlis are all considered one. And therefore, you're allowed to carry from one to the other without shituf voice. Meaning the whole reason why we're worried about you carrying in the mavli for more than 4 amot, or from the chatzir to the mavli, is only because you're going to end up doing that from the home, which is not allowed to go to the mavli. But if there's no access from the home to the chatzir, because you didn't make a erev chatzeros, therefore we're not going to be worried about it. And that's why you're going to be allowed to carry in the mavui that has a lechi v'koira, even though there's no shitufei mavois. I hope everybody got it. Omer Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Lo lakol Omer Rabbi Eliezer machshira mitzvah doichen tzah Shabbos. You have to go to 15. No?
I can say a few more minutes from here, but it's not.
I'm thinking now that we do this daf tonight, and then we're one block behind. Yeah? That's what I'm thinking. I gave a lot of food for thought already. Oh, by the way, this is a new sugya now. It's
No more my voice.
yeah, it's added here back to Milan Shabbos. It's much easier.